over, and that puck's going to go all the way back here.
I think Shulmistra got a pad to that, and that was a good play by him because after the first shot, he tried to save it, ricocheted. If a South Carolina player had been there, he would have been able to rifle it home to put.
Yeah, and there's some fans still yelling about that play. Is a Pirate defender, I believe, just kind of dove at the legs of a Gamecock skater. It looked...
He went port side.
Yeah, it looked maybe worse than it was, but
we got some demonstrations by the fans for the refs, so maybe they could kind of see what they're talking about.
You love to see it here. Still a packed crowd here at the Plex. A lovely Friday night in Irmo, South Carolina. Tied at 2 here with 14:27 here.
No place I'd rather be.
I couldn't name one.
If you build it, they will come.
As Cade controls the puck after the faceoff, gets it back to Henderson.
Hey, man, I will say, ECU, they have been blowing up South Carolina's offense just at any chance that South Carolina's attempted to set up in the ECU offensive zone.
And, you know, just as soon as you say that, the Gamecocks get a nice little attack together. Henderson sent it up to Piscar, but when all else fails, you've got the great Shulmistra.
Yeah, I mean, this is 20 saves already with 14 minutes left in the second period. He is up to the task tonight, and he is putting ECU on his back.
And as I said earlier, just a freshman, incredible stuff. Add one more to his tally there.
That was almost one of the greatest little snatches I've ever seen. He is playing, I mean, I don't want to invoke the name of the great Igor Shesterkin, but.
Well, you've gone and done it now as Henderson has the puck. Over to Albers looking for Piscar.
That's a play ECU didn't make in the first period. They've really tightened it up, and defensively, they're playing great.
Gormley there as well. Maybe some more reps for him, as that was a nice job of just poking that free and to his own defender here. Henderson leaves it for K, who gets a shot, but again a save. Piscar has it behind net, but it will be taken from him, and he's flattened. Pirates skating.
Will Steffen, the freshman from Nova Scotia, with a huge hit behind the net.
One of the, I believe, 4 Canadians, 3 or 4 for the Pirates here. The puck kind of gets lost there, but Gormley will control it at the back of the net, get it over to List. Unable to control it. Bit of a scrum against the boards here.
And those are scrums South Carolina, they won handily in the first period. Here's ECU fighting and looking to try and get a huge A1 chance here in South Carolina's defensive zone.
Definitely just a little too much on that pass, otherwise he would have had a guy right in front of the net. Pineda deflects that to Shulmistra there. Bolger skating after it. He does have it, sends it around the goal back for Tommy Locken.
An extended stay in the ECU offensive zone, I think, would be huge for South Carolina. It feels like they're playing a little bit on their heels, as there's a big hit in the net.
And Pineda sends a shot over the net, and there it just looked like he got tangled up with Locken.
Yeah,
no calling. God, it looks like Thomas took that puck in the face from the bench. Thankfully, he looks to be okay, but it's going to be a face-off here in the offensive zone for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, after thinking about it for a little bit, I think that's a good no call. I think that was just kind of guys tripping over each other. It didn't really seem malicious or extensive to warrant a penalty. But, I mean, this period has been ECU through 8 minutes, tying up the game, playing more physical. They're playing South Carolina's brand of hockey in their face.
And that's disrespectful. You got to think the Gamecocks are going to find a way to answer, as this game is tied at 2.
There was a really good chance for ECU. Like in the first period, they missed on some passes, but they've been a lot more crisp here in the second period. That was really their first big miss.
Definitely. And Sylvester, the goal scorer there, sends it up. He'll chase after it. Takes a couple big hits being dished out there. Another one. The Pirates still control it. Out here, shot towards goal, but it's stopped by Sean Reed.
Picks the pocket there a little bit.
And that's going to be another goal, and that's Sylvester, his second of the night. And nothing Gormley can do about that one, as it was just taken from the defense right in front of his face. and sent in the back of the net, and the Pirates lead here 3-2.
The freshman from Carver, Massachusetts. 2 goals on the night. It's 3-2 Pirates. After I kind of called out ECU, said they weren't playing, helping out Shimolstra, and they've shown up here in the second period. This is shocking.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I agree with you there. It is definitely surprising, but I think it's maybe even more indicative that the Gamecocks are just unable to answer. They look kind of lost right now, and a team that plays off momentum like they do, they definitely need something to go their way here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it, but ECU is just pushing them around, and it is not looking like it looks like South Carolina's a little frazzled.
I definitely agree with you there. As Greeley tries to control it, he will, and it's up to Smojais, who loses it, tries to dish out a hit.
It feels
Still
like
has it. Shot goes high there.
Hit the iron there a little bit. It feels like as the frustration's building with South Carolina in this period, instead of playing the puck and trying to continue on, they're just shoving people and starting stuff. Nothing wrong with playing physical, but you can't do it at the price of playing good hockey.
Yeah, Shulmistra does make the save there, but he loses it, and the player with no stick there is just all over Gamecock. The save is made, and that's going to be a penalty, and you just, you know, surprised that one doesn't come to blows there, as that's going to be Crandall Connor all over Mike Bolger. And he, you know, he's the one that taunted the fans earlier, and he is hearing about it right now.
Yeah, well, he's making motions towards the South Carolina bench. I'd be careful if I were him when he comes out of the penalty box.
He doesn't look like the biggest guy either. It wouldn't surprise me if you see as soon as he comes out of the box, Ronan Mulcairn goes over there and just flattens him. Tallest player on the Gamecock team.
This is what South Carolina needed. It's what ECU couldn't afford. They made a big mistake, and they've given momentum back to South Carolina, given them an opportunity to tie this game back up and get momentum back in the side of the Garnet and Black.
And stupidly taunting the crowd while they're at it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't taunt. You're going to taunt a packed house while giving them a power play. Doesn't seem like the smartest idea. As now the Gamecocks, I mean, that's got to fill you with something. You got to.
You'd hope so. You'd hope.
Yeah.
I mean, really. Obviously, there's no question of this team's heart. They're 14-2. They play hard. But coming out of the break, the winner, like the little pause in action, this could be something that kind of lights a fire under them and gets them going as they get back into this game.
Definitely, you gotta piece together an offensive, you know, more of a set play. Don't rush anything. Makes the extra pass, and make them work for it. Piscar's gonna take it, looks for a shot, but loses the puck right at the goal.
Good job keeping it in. One thing that South Carolina hasn't done this period, they haven't made Shimolstra do one of those crazy saves he did in the first period. It's mostly just been straight on, you know, covering it up.
Yeah.
That's it. So.
Yeah, nothing too impressive from, other than the routine saves, of course, here in the second period. But
he makes the extraordinary look ordinary.
It's a good way to put it. Gamecocks will start an attack here. So Albers is going to get on the left side of goal. He'll send it up to Pescara, who leaves it for Kay. He's got options here. Back to Reed. Over to Kay again. Make a move and look for DeChico on the far side, but it just goes through him.
And that's a pass that South Carolina hit flawlessly in the first period. I mean, that's just another example of what's been going on this second period. They're just not playing up to par.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. There's going to be some more substitutions for the Gamecocks with 35 seconds left in this power play. Flaherty's going to take it. Looks to make a move there, but good defense from the Pirates as Smojai skates up.
I will say that this line led by Flaherty seems a little bit more, I don't want to say energetic, but they skate a lot faster. It's probably been South Carolina's most productive line offensively. They've had a lot. They've had a lot of shots on goal. They've scored 2 goals. It's not been a quiet night for the Carolina offense.
Yeah, I agree with you there. They're definitely one of the more fun lines to watch in this game. They play with a lot of energy. Bolger has it, and Shulmistra did have to lay out to try and block the pass that was incoming.
Yeah, that was a really good chance for South Carolina. That's one of those where, you know, maybe the extra pass was a little unnecessary as Shimolstra makes his 25th save of the game, just catching a fastball that South Carolina rifled, a one-timer, and I mean, he's playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, and you got to think the Gamecocks coach is over there talking to his players because they really just don't look as into it as the Pirates do. They've come out absolutely firing in the second with 2 goals, and they've taken a lead against a team who on paper is much better than them.
Yeah, well, hey, that's why they play the games, Spencer.
Yeah, you don't play the game on paper. That's right.
And that's just another turnover, losing the puck, as the
in the defensive zone again as well.
And with someone coming out of the box, that's a ripe chance for ECU to extend their lead.
Definitely is. But now the Gamecocks have numbers. Pineda has it. He had Bolger. Looks over for Locken, unable to put it on goal.
Yeah, that was a really good chance, the 4-on-2 for South Carolina, but then a good play by McGowan to keep it in.
And get it. It's unfortunately lost again by the Gamecocks, but they will still retain possession, excuse me.
They've been doing a lot of dump and chase. They haven't really, it's been hard for them in their zone, and props to ECU. They've made it hard for South Carolina to set up, and, they're falling back on kind of the dump, just try and get to the puck, try and start something off the rush.
Yeah, and Locken races up, looks for Santoro in front of the net. It's deflected, but Locken will keep the puck. He leaves it for Greeley. Kind of been the hero the last couple games for the Gamecocks. Haven't seen too much from him tonight.
Yeah, with a guy like him, it's only a matter of time before he gets going, and I think ECU just hopes they're up a couple goals when that happens.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, they're already up 1, and they definitely look threatening in the second period with under 7 left to play.
Yeah, it's been a fast period, a lot fewer whistles. I think the refs set maybe a little bit of an ultimatum to kind of keep shenanigans down between both teams. We've only seen the 1 penalty, which was just an otherworldly stupid decision by ECU, but a lot cleaner.
And we're going to see another penalty here. So Gamecocks will go in power play again. So that was Owen Brennan headed to the box. And you got to think they got to capitalize here.
Really, you can't keep wasting these opportunities that ECU is willingly giving you. When they make a mistake like that, they commit a penalty. When you're the underdog, you can't afford to do that, especially on the road. We can't all be road warriors like the Knicks.
Kay has it now, back to Reed.
What
Deflected
a play
there. Yeah, really nice deflection.
Kevin Wildish, the junior from Ontario, just another Canadian on this East Carolina team, just giving up his body to stop a shot there.
It's going to be deflected out, and Reed will chase it down here with a minute and a half left in the power play. And the Gamecocks offense just does not look the same here. Albers controls it. He's got Cade to his left, Reed behind him. Looks across ice, but it's deflected. Reed makes a nice play to stop it. Cade puts it in the middle of the ice, over to Piscar, but she'll miss her there again.
Yeah, that's another one of those where it's maybe the extra pass, trying to do too much. As there's another save by Shimolstra. He kind of lost it there for a little bit, but he has 27 saves on the night with 5:53 left in the second period.
Yeah, and, can't say enough about what he's doing for this team, but his defense has definitely stepped it up here. As you mentioned, in the first period, they weren't making a lot of deflections on some of the passes, weren't really laying out for it. We're seeing this team play with a whole new level of heart and aggression here in the second.
Yeah, and especially they're keeping South Carolina out from in front of the net. They're not being able to deflect or screen Shimolstra like they were sometimes in the first period. Shimolstra made great saves, but they were harder saves to make, and you can't bank on him doing that every time.
Flaherty tries to make a move there on Connor, but he does retain possession, but it was unsuccessful. Gets it over to List there, finds Bolger. Close side, unable to get the shot off, but gets it back to Flaherty.
Flaherty might have the best puck handling skills.
He is incredible.
At least tonight I've seen. He's been a lot of fun to watch, and he's really been, I don't want to say the driving force, but he's really kept South Carolina on the attack.
Connor for ECU skates up with it, but it is taken from him by Bolger, who's been another bright spot of this team tonight, I think. He's been skating really hard, trying to get to every puck, and Smojais controls it over to Thomas.
Yeah, I kind of like how he slowed it down, just kind of let everyone get set up. There's another save.
Yeah. It was a great setup, though. They found Thomas kind of far post, but
yeah, that was probably the best opportunity South Carolina's had in the second period. They slowed it down. They let everyone get set up. And then they made a couple quick passes, got a good look. Shimolstra made a good save, and South
Story of the
Carolina.
night,
Yeah, really.
He's made 27 of them, so 28.
Yeah,
with that
now
one,
28.
So. Yep. Shot immediately off the face-off from Wilkins. Leaves
Deflected
it from
off
Mulcairn.
Shimolstra, I think.
And that one definitely is a pad save again for him, as this one will go all the way down. No icing, but Gormley will control it.
Another penalty killed off by ECU. So, I mean, really, they've given South Carolina 2 great chances to really kind of at least get some momentum, get some high-risk chances against Shimolstra. They haven't done it. ECU, they've kept the momentum.
Yeah, and just can't say enough about what they've done in this second period. Just great on all levels, but a really nice save from Gormley there.
Jackson Sylvester again. I mean, he's the one, he took it into the South Carolina zone. He has been super impressive tonight.
Mulcairn, one-on-one opportunity with
But a penalty coming up. We might a penalty shot perhaps, because it was interfering with the shot attempt for South Carolina. That would be excellent for South Carolina's prospects of tying this game up.
Doesn't look like it, though, as Mulcairn seemed upset about something, and that was likely it. 19, Dylan Byrne headed to the box for the Pirates. Third time might be the charm for the Gamecocks, and you feel like it has to be in this second. Otherwise, they have not found any good opportunities in equal strength.
Yeah, although I will say the last power play was very encouraging. I liked a lot of the things I saw from South Carolina. Now if they can kind of get that over the course of an entire one, capitalize on one of those really good looks and tie this game up, this is a very pivotal moment in the game for South Carolina.
Completely agree, as they win the faceoff but do lose possession, as the Pirates will have it. And he'll get a shot fired wide of Gormley.
Tucker Horn for ECU. What a play he just made. Got himself kind of a breakaway chance. Couldn't really, capitalize on it, but just another example of how ECU is playing this period.
Yeah, definitely. And now it's going to be Greeley racing up the ice. Has it deflected away from him and nothing doing. And in my opinion, I think the Gamecocks have to slow down. Going fast has not bode well for them, at least right now. And you got to think their best chance in the last one was slowing down, trying to find a pass towards the back of the net. Got to think they need to look and try and find that again.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Their best opportunity came when they got behind the net and just slowed it down. ECU's done a really good
has
job.
A nice look for Flaherty, who does eventually come up with it. And he goes down, and
South Carolina needs to be careful.
has
They
the
might
puck.
get an embellishment call. There's been some,
bit of a whiff there, but Pineda still has it. Out to Greeley. He wants it himself. Deflected by Santoro, and another great save.
2 saves in the span of like 2 seconds for Shimolstra. What can't he do?
You might as well take off take off the goalie mask and just put him on skates at this point. He might just do it all. But the Gamecocks, 41 seconds left in the power play, 2:51 left in the period. Down 1 goal to the Pirates in a shocking second period. Let's see if they equalize here. As Bolger wins the faceoff, leaves it for List, who's got to go back.
Another mental lapse by South Carolina. You win the faceoff, you get a great opportunity to set up in the ECU offensive zone on the power play, and you just let it leak over the blue line, so you have to evacuate the zone.
Slow it all the way down and go back. Thomas tries to leave it for Piscar. List with a good interception there.
What a play by List. As soon as Bolger got out of the ECU zone, he darted in, and now South Carolina starting to set up a little bit.
And that was a nice play to try and run a distraction in front of Shimolstra. Unsuccessful. List tries to get another one back post. It's going to be Bolger now to Piscar. He fires it on goal, but a little to the left. Flaherty has it now. Out to List. Scoops it up to Bolger.
They're trying to get something
nice
off the
move.
ricochet, but that's what I was about to say. I was about to say, when you're firing so many one-timers from the blue line, you fake it, and then you make it an easier shot, but guess what? Another save by Shimolstra, his 30th of the game. I'm running out of adjectives to describe him, man. My
Can't say
vocabulary
much more.
wasn't even that big to begin with.
30 saves in the second period with still a little bit of time left. is truly incredible. And the Gamecocks, you know, as you mentioned earlier with Flaherty's stick skills, that was Zach List, and that's two defensemen who just, I mean, they look really good with the puck on their stick, but unfortunately haven't found the back of the net in this period. McGowan's going to race back against Horn for it. Gormley comes out of net to clear it. Out to Smudge Ice, who falls down. Otherwise, the Gamecocks might have had some numbers there.
Yeah, that's just, I don't want to say missed opportunity. It's not his fault he fell, but just a long list of things that just haven't gone South Carolina's way this period. It's almost a miracle that they're only down 3-2. It seems like ECU's kind of turtling a little bit. They haven't pressed the advantage much at all. They're really just kind of packing the bus right now.
Definitely what it looks like. Smudge Ice makes a nice play to win the puck back. Kay has it. Over to Alberts, looking for Henderson, and it's deflected in front of goal and fired against the glass. Smudge Ice puts it forward again. Controlled by Horn for the Pirates, and under a minute left. Albert's fighting for it up there. Some subs being made. And it is going to be McGowan controlling it in the defensive zone for the Gamecocks. He'll send it up, and that was deflected as Lozino raced back for it, but he's sent to the wall. Lawrence, wondering if he was going to get called for a penalty there, but it's going to be Downs controlling the puck now. Looking for a shot. Nice save from Gormley.
I think that was ECU's first shot on goal, or at least shot attempt, since they scored that third goal. They really just have not had many chances.
Chad Lazine, I really like that shot attempt. Tried to sneak it close to Schulmistra, but poked to the side, and a stoppage of time here with 5.4 seconds left in this second period.
The South Carolina faithful are certainly making their opinions known about the officiating. Once again, I think that was just another good call, good no call. It's hockey, you know, these things are going to happen. People are going to hit the ice. I think South Carolina just doesn't need to worry about the officials and just kind of regroup during this upcoming intermission.
Yeah, I think the break's definitely going to be good for them because clearly they don't look like the same team they did earlier in the game, and ECU definitely doesn't, but that bodes better for them than it does the Gamecocks, and they're going to be unable to get a shot off here as the Pirates, after an incredible second period, take a 3-2 lead. What do the Gamecocks need to change here going into the final period of play?
Well, I mean, they've had good looks. They've had extended stays in the ECU offensive zone. They got to be crisper with the passing. They were kind of lackadaisical, missed out on some potential big plays. But also, speaking of the passing, don't be afraid to shoot. I feel like they're trying to do too much, trying to set up the perfect shot when you have a really good opportunity in a game where you're just, in a period especially, where you're just kind of struggling. I want to quickly shout out Dylan LeBlanc, the senior defenseman for ECU, who made that play to end the second period.
Yeah, and they just, I mean, the Pirates have completely flipped the script, and they look a lot better here in the second period. And for the Gamecocks, I think you're right. I think looking for too many passes has kind of been a problem for them, but I do think they, you know, whenever they don't settle for just a long shot but try and work it in closer to goal, it bodes better for them, but then once they get there, sometimes I feel like they're trying to do a little bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I think the break came at a good point. The break in this game, maybe not the break in the season. Maybe this is the rust some people were kind of alluding to. But this is a big opportunity for South Carolina. They got 20 minutes. They got the time in the locker room. This is where you kind of find yourselves, especially when you're at home. You got the crowd behind you. You just need one big play to really whip them up into a frenzy.
Definitely, and they've done that all year with the momentum. Seems like they score a goal, and then all of a sudden it's just an onslaught. They need to find that here in the third, and we'll see if they do. We'll be back here for the final period of play in Irmo. goal there, as ECU is going to take it down the length of the ice and
Ooh.
still control it.
Really good early chance there for South Carolina as I almost break my phone. There's a really good shot. Hey, that's the second maybe shot on goal for ECU since their third goal of the game.
And that was a good save from Gormley, as that was just kind of a weird-looking shot there by Safinski, but he was able to just glove it.
It was like a two-seam fastball from Greg Maddox.
And let me tell you, you don't want to be on the other side of that. For the faceoff, looks like it's going to be Santoro here in the Gamecocks defensive zone. The Gamecocks will control it, as that's Flaherty.
You can already see between the second and third periods that something's changed for South Carolina. I'm sure they got a nice talking to in the locker room. I mean, it's coaching. You know, sometimes you just got to remind them what's going on.
Absolutely. Santoro gets control of the puck here, sends it behind the net to Locken. Wants it back, but there's Flaherty. And Gormley comes out of goal there to collect it. And, I mean, that is incredibly lucky for the Gamecocks.
That was Crandall Connor for ECU, who almost had the chance of a lifetime to put the Pirates up 4-2. He's had his hands all over this game, both in the box, scoring, riling up the crowd, talking trash to anyone who breathes.
And public enemy number one for the Gamecocks fans. Almost got a second goal of the night, but not to be. His list is going to race up the length of the ice, and that's going to be sent over the top of the net by Shulmistra.
Shulmistra, I mean, he has been playing out of his mind. We really don't even know what to say about him anymore. He's got 33 saves on the night, 18-10 to go. So.
Yeah, we're running out of space on our sheet here to keep track of it in this little
yeah,
corner.
the tallies are getting kind of just shoved together.
And that was going to be an offsides call there against the Gamecocks. Face-off in neutral ice is going to be the line for the Gamecocks. Bolger, Thomas, DeChico, Reed, and Smojai. DeChico.
Here's that dump and chase I was talking about.
And Smojai does control it in the corner, gets it around to Thomas. He's got DeChico out, but he'll make a nice move. Shot just above goal. And that was a really nice move there from Owen Thomas, the senior leader of this team. Almost gets the equalizer here in the third. Send it up to Smojai. Thomas in pursuit there, but the Pirates will control it for now. But a nice play with the stick does Thomas as Bolger gets it. Shot on goal, but Shulmistra again with a save. But as you mentioned, it does look like something's changed. They're playing with a lot more tenacity of the Gamecocks, reminiscent of the first period team we saw.
Yeah, I mean, South Carolina's, they've got their opportunities, and I like their process here early in the third period. They're putting the pressure on. They're doing a lot of things they didn't do in the second period. So South Carolina looking for the equalizer still.
And, you know, one thing to note about tonight, it's been a long time since I've seen the Gamecocks lose a faceoff. They have been incredible at them all night long, but really haven't found a whole lot.
Yeah, not a lot of plays off the faceoff. I will say I'll give a lot of credit to ECU. They're not winning the faceoffs as you'd kind of expect when they're the smaller, kind of less experienced team. But they're really disrupting what South Carolina wants to do coming out of the faceoff. They're knocking the puck loose, sending it, clearing it. They're doing the good things.
And, you know, as tradition is here in the lovely Plex, we've got some beer towers down here on the glass, and they're to be protected at all costs. We see them, you know.
Air defense system.
Yeah, it's, you know, I mean, I feel like it's what you got to do here when you're at the Plex. And
although it's been a very entertaining game, not really many reasons to be bored. The chippiness, while it's still there and people are kind of still going at each other, there's been a lot fewer penalties. I think teams have kind of cleaned it up. And, you know, that's what you want to see. You want to see, you know, physicality. You want to see trash talk. You want the passion to be there, but you don't want anybody to get hurt.
And Greeley takes that shot to the left of goal. Smolkaren drops back in defense, and that puck is going to be sent to the left by Gormley after a nice look from ECU.
Yeah, I think ECU's had more chances to score this period than they did the entire second.
And they came away with 2 goals in that one.
Yeah.
And it does look like it's going to be Chad Lazine heading to the box for the Gamecocks. And, you know, when you're down a goal here in the last period of play, going to the box is not something you can really afford to do.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I don't want to sound hyperbolic, but this could be the most important penalty kill South Carolina's had all season, because this is a game you were expected to win, and ECU's on the precipice of kind of putting a stiff arm on you.
And, you know, this would be a huge upset, and that one, no penalty there, but definitely an odd-looking play.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm not sure what they would have. Yeah, that was just kind of two guys colliding. It looked really awkward, though. I mean, there was reason to take pause.
And lucky that wasn't another goal there, as Gormley maybe got a little something on it. Otherwise, that was going top corner for the Pirates. And
I will say Gormley shut down whatever chances ECU's managed to get. There's another one.
You know, even if just barely, he's still hanging on. And so are the Gamecocks, down a goal with 1:15 here left in the power play. And that one will go back to Shulmistra here in goal, as he'll send it up for his offense.
And what a pass by Shulmistra. I mean, getting his guys out on the break, he's doing it all for ECU that day.
And LeBlanc controls it now for the Pirates. Dishes it to a teammate who makes a nice move and finds it. Wow, I mean, that was a really good opportunity for the Pirates, but unable to get a stick on it was Jace Hansen, the freshman.
It seems like every time ECU does something good, we're talking about a freshman. And it's really been impressive. As a penalty coming up to ECU, I think. I'm not really sure what they called. I didn't see much. Maybe a high stick.
Unsure exactly what's happening. Yeah, definitely one Pirate headed off, and that is going to be the freshman Jace Hansen, it looks like. Yep, he'll be escorted to the box here with 15:10 left in the final period of play.
And Dylan Greeley doing a good job as a leader. He's a junior, but I'm sure that, you know, eligibility rules, stuff like that. But he's doing his good job as a really just experienced leader. It looked like something might have escalated here in the neutral zone, but he got in between his guy, and he was like, hey, we don't need to do anything stupid right now. We're about to go on the power play with a chance to tie it up.
Being physical but smart is definitely a key to hockey in general. As the Gamecocks, that is a clutch penalty for them, as now they're on even strength, and they'll even have a minute.
About a minute and a half.
Change.
Yeah.
On a power play after the next 30 seconds are up. Mulcairn unable to poke away the puck there. Piscar's in defense, and Pirates still with the puck there. Can't make out who that is, but it's going to be blocked by Greeley, and they have numbers here. Him and Thomas, up to Thomas. Nice defensive play, but the Gamecocks still control it here.
And that was the senior defenseman Eric Thronson for the ECU Pirates, taking the puck into South Carolina zone and then getting back on defense.
It's going to be a nice save from Gormley there. A shot again from Jackson Sylvester, the freshman with 2 goals.
Yeah, that's Gormley's 10th save of the, or Gormley, excuse me. That's his 10th save of the game. So he's really kind of picked it up. ECU has picked up a lot. I feel like they have more time in the offensive zone of South Carolina in this period than they did the second. I know I said that with chances, but they've really had they've had more high-quality possessions than I think they've had all game.
And the one face-off they seemingly win was rather dangerous for the Gamecocks, but they regained control with Flaherty with a little over a minute left in the power play here. You got to think the Gamecocks got to do something. As List tries to get the puck there, but he's caught up. Out to Bolger. He's got Flaherty.
Yeah, Flaherty, I feel like, has been the best quarterback of the power play South Carolina could ask for tonight. They haven't gotten, you know, the results you always want, but I feel like when he is out there at the blue line kind of directing things,
yeah,
it's gone a lot smoother for South Carolina.
Definitely agree. And the beer tower has been completed here. And Flaherty looks for a shot, but that's deflected. Some nice defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to know how many block shots ECU has the last 2 periods compared to the first. I imagine not too many there in that first period.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. But they look so much better defensive. I mean, just in all aspects of the game, they look so much better in the second and third. The Gamecocks look to answers. Piscar makes a nice move, but it's poked away from him, and that one goes high and on top of the net after a shot from Bolger.
That was the first time I think we've seen Shulmistra a little bit, I don't want to say frazzled or rattled or anything, but he was back to his first period where he was like kind of making these miraculous plays, like doing crazy stuff with his hands.
Yeah, just making sure that one didn't take an unfortunate bounce. And it was smart on him because you never know if that didn't hit the top of the net, could have just bounced off his back and in. But
yeah, I think we've had 2 goals like that tonight for both teams.
Santoro wins a face-off. They're going to get it to Reed, and another save by Shulmistra.
His 35th of the game. It's getting ridiculous now.
Yeah. And 13-10 left in the final period here, and that was a kill for the Pirates. And they've been really, really solid in killing power plays
I'm
tonight.
so impressed by their special teams.
It's hard not to be.
Yeah, I mean, I almost want to say they're leaving me speechless. But they can't really, I can't really afford to have that happen, can I?
DeChico tries to send it up the ice as Lockins in pursuit of that puck. Unable to get it. So the Pirates here look to go on the attack, and that's Sylvester with the puck. DeChico and Reed.
Sylvester kind of ducked down underneath that, avoided the hit. Smart play by him.
And Lockin gets the puck, looks for Santoro in the middle, leaves it for Reed. Deflected and over the arms of Shulmistra and away from the goal, but that was a really nice setup there from the game.
I want to say he knocked that one into the air. It looked like his arm kind of, I don't know, but maybe I'm just seeing things. We're witnessing greatness tonight.
Might be a mix of both here. It's going to be the Pirates here. Look for a shot, but that's deflected by DeChico. The Gamecocks have the puck now with Reed.
That was the freshman, Jace Henson for ECU. I mean, it's been nothing but young guys for the Pirates tonight as they have just come into the Plex and played their hearts out, that's for sure.
Definitely, and Henderson looks for a big hit there, and he does make some contact, as now it's Rob Lawrence in the game. Had the puck for a second, but then lost it, and McGowan's going to chase that down with the help of Gormley. Over to Henderson now, up to Lazine. He's going to get that up to Wilkins, who leaves it for Lawrence. And he has a nice shot and deflected back to Lazine, but another save from Shulmistra.
I will say, I feel like South Carolina hasn't connected on too many hits these last 2 periods. I wonder if the fact that ECU kind of didn't back down and they were returning the favor, I mean, getting the taste for their own medicine tonight sure are the Gamecocks.
Definitely, and that was, the last 2 attacks have been really promising for the Gamecocks. They've, Shulmistra's had to make some really nice saves, reminiscent of the first period, and down goes Lazine after a huge hit.
That was
from LeBlanc.
Anderson.
Okay. And we've got 2 guys tangled up here. It's Lawrence and LeBlanc.
Yeah.
And the referees are going to separate that, but the fans are loving it here with 10:54 left.
It's more of a hugging match than a brawl. They're just kind of wrapped up. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened with LeBlanc. Maybe Lawrence thought he got hit by the wrong guy. It seemed like Lawrence was the instigator there. He might get a penalty for that.
Oh, yeah, it's looked like no doubt to me. They might get LeBlanc as well.
I feel like,
and they will, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be that makes sense.
LeBlanc laid it. It was
Cameron Anderson who got LeBlanc. Who got Lawrence. He just flattened him. Just when I was talking about ECU returning the favor, playing South Carolina's brand of hockey right in their face, they do it right there, and they're getting South Carolina off their game. Look at, starting fights with guys who didn't even hit you. It reeks of panic. They're seeing the time tick away, and they haven't gotten the equalizer.
But, in the physicality, it might strike something within the Gamecocks, especially with this crowd. They had been pretty quiet recently.
Yeah,
so even just seeing somebody just kind of get into it, They're back on their feet. They're chanting now. So definitely maybe a change of pace here for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I think that this might actually, like you said, while ECU, you don't want to poke the bear too much because the sleeping giant that is South Carolina right now is capable of scoring at any time, as we've seen before.
Definitely, and the attacks have been promising. So we'll see what the punishment is here. So we've got some talking about it. But that just gives more time for the crowd to get involved. So this, I would say, goes in South Carolina's favor unless the penalty is more for Mr. Rob Lawrence. But
yeah, this is taking a little bit. I think they're just figuring out maybe a 4-minute penalty on South Carolina for start. I don't know.
It was hard because it was kind of like a double retaliation thing. It was a little
Lawrence hit the wrong guy. I bet LeBlanc was like, what did I do?
Yeah, he didn't really want any part of that.
Well, they're explaining something.
Could have been a fight there, but, you know, didn't turn into anything other than, as you mentioned, a little bit of a huggy match. And the Jeopardy theme song, of course, getting some playing time as it usually does.
That just about sums up my thoughts. I don't know what's going on.
Hopefully we'll find out.
Yeah, the refs discussing. Seems like we might get a call here sooner rather than later. It might draw on into Saturday as we get ready for the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be excited about that. Absolutely loaded schedule.
Yeah, with the New York Giants upsetting the Vikings on Sunday, that will sure ruffle some feathers.
Ooh, some confidence from the Giants fan.
Daniel Jones, baby, Danny Dimes.
And you know, I'm not known for my math abilities, but there's 5 yellow jerseys out there and only 4 garnet ones, so it looks like the Gamecocks are going to be in a deficit until a 5th skater
Nobody knows
on.
what's going on tonight. I mean, that's a whole lot of discussing and deliberating for us to go back to 5-on-5 even strength. If you're going to do that, at least give somebody, you know, the
Make
man
an
advantage.
announcement, yeah. I mean, or just
an
let
announcement.
people know, yeah.
That would be nice.
And actually, we're just not going to get either, so it's going to be K on the face-off. And ECU
One of the first.
will win that.
I feel like ECU's won more face-offs this third than they did the first 2 periods. I've said that some variation of that like 3 times.
Definitely had, and K looks for the extra pass, broken up by the Pirates. We still don't know the times on those power plays, but there are, of course, a player for each team in the box, and the puck is kind of left in front of goal. Piscar with a spinning shot, another save from Shulmistra. But Piscar still has control here. He looks to kind of just send it at the goal.
My best guess is both got 4 minutes or maybe a 2-minute minor for fighting. So we'll just see both. I mean, I don't know. We don't know. They didn't tell us. So it's anybody's guess.
Piscar over to Henderson. Henderson with a nice move. And again, a save from Shulmistra as that shot was really well placed. Excuse me, from
That
Drew
was his
Henderson.
38th save of the game.
Unbelievable.
He's faced 40 shots on goal.
Albers back to Henderson, who looks in a glove save by, you guessed it, Jackson Shulmistra. And it's got to be frustrating at some point. I
It's
mean,
demoralizing. I mean, when you're facing a goalie who's on his A game and no matter what chance you get, he's snagging it out of the air. I mean, snuffing out any chance you have of a good offensive possession. It's really something.
It really is. The PA announcer here doing his best to get the crowd riled up, and they're
drop
still
kick Murphys.
Yeah, still packed house here at the Plex. Bolger wins the faceoff, but Thomas unable to get a clean shot off of it, and he's hit up against the boards.
I think that's the biggest change since the first period. South Carolina was just bullying ECU on the boards early. And
it's not the case anymore.
no, it is not.
It's going to be covered up there by Shulmistra as another faceoff in the offensive zone for the Gamecocks will
I will
take
say
place.
the biggest thing I think I like out of South Carolina this period.
And that's a goal from Owen Thomas off the face-off win from Mike Bolger. Thomas just gets it right over the head of Shulmistra, and that's what the Gamecocks needed. And that's what this crowd needed, and that's going to tie it up at 3 with 9:38 left in the third.
Well, I was going to say that the biggest thing I liked out of South Carolina this period was how they were staying in the ECU offensive zone. But now the biggest thing I like out of them is the fact that they just tied this game up with 9:38 to play.
I mean, definitely, and that was just an individual beauty. And this place is rocking. Storm, of course, getting another play. A Gamecock classic.
How will ECU respond? They've led for the last handful of minutes, and now all of a sudden the momentum trending South Carolina's way for the first time since the first period.
Yeah, and I would say the Gamecocks, ECU has looked good in the third period, but the Gamecocks offense, they did have a lot of attempts, but finally getting one to go through's got to feel good, and it's going to make them hungrier for more, you can only imagine.
Yeah.
So Piscar now has the puck, and he's racing up the ice. Makes a move and still controls it behind the net now. He'll get that over to Wilkins, I believe. Flaherty unable to corral that, but Zach List will take it.
I will say one of the biggest things for ECU, I think, that has kind of gone unnoticed is how crisp their line shift changes have been. They've really they haven't gotten caught looking. And that's, I feel like, something South Carolina really prides themselves on being able to do with getting into the rush, getting an odd man favorite. But not so far.
Yeah, not so far. And that was a really, I love that shot from Zach List, is that one kind of had some weird little spin on it, but it almost went top left if it wasn't for the arm of Shulmistra.
That was Shulmistra's 40th save of the night. It came a little bit after he surrendered his third goal, but, I mean, it's just been an all-world night for him.
Definitely. As the Gamecocks do have possession now behind their own goals, Reed will send it up to Santoro. Santoro still with it, skating up the ice. He's got Pineda to his right. DeChico now has it. Back to Reed, to DeChico. Up to Pineda, but slightly out of reach. They'll fight on the boards for it. Out to Santoro, all the way over to Tommy Locken. It looks like he'll fake a shot there.
We've got an ECU player without a stick, so.
And a cover-up save by Shulmistra. Santoro he put the shot on goal there, but a nice pass from Locken, really setting up a good attack. And we've seen, I think the Gamecocks offense looked so much better here in the third, especially in comparison to the second. The second, they did not look good at all.
They look like a more cohesive unit. They're on point with their passes. They're not sacrificing a good opportunity trying to just try harder for a perfect shot. They're taking what ECU's given them, and it's resulted in a tie game.
Something we talked about earlier with that third goal was the faceoffs. They'd been really successful, but hadn't come from anything, or anything hadn't come from them. And then it was just a miraculous goal from Owen Thomas. But Gamecocks do control the puck momentarily. It's taken from them by Sylvester, who's had himself a night. But Santoro gets it back in a great pad save from Shulmistra. Out to Reed now as the Gamecocks still have it. And he fires one from distance and a glove save from Shulmistra.
Do you think Shulmistra hits 50 saves tonight, Spencer?
I mean, it's hard not to. The Gamecocks offense, I mean, they're doing what they can and testing him. He's answering right
He's
now.
at 43 with 7:26 to go.
And that's just unofficial tallies. I mean, we like
I might have missed a few. Not to toot my own horn, I think I've done a pretty good job as official scorekeeper.
I'm here with you. Especially when it gets this high of a number, you get to 40s. I'm saying,
the tallies are just kind of blending together in my mind.
I can count to 10, but
I only have 10 fingers.
Yeah, that's about as simple as it gets. Nonetheless, 7:26 here left in the final period. All tied at 3, and the Gamecocks win another face-off, and that's going to be Albers, who just barely misses the net there with a good opportunity.
Not sure how that one stayed in play, but it did.
And that's McGowan who launches it forward. Okay, in pursuit, and it looked like a Pirate defender maybe lost it for a second, but he recovered well.
Since the third goal, ECU hasn't really pressed at all. It seems like, there we go. Well, now they're playing in the South Carolina offensive zone for 2 seconds.
Yep, that's about all they've had, and Henderson will send that up with Albers in pursuit. And as you mentioned, South Carolina, I don't think they're a team you can necessarily take your foot off the gas with.
That was a very impressive pass by ECU, just as I was about to comment on the fact that they haven't been as sharp with their passes as they were in the second period. Once again, I'm proven wrong.
Yeah, and they almost got another one, but a really, really nice save from Gormley. Stopped that from going in on the short side there. Blocked from Piscar.
I've been very impressed with Gormley. He hasn't had a lot of chances. So when an opportunity comes, he's like he has to get right back into gear. It's easy to get kind of disconnected when the puck isn't coming your way as a goalie. And he stayed sharp tonight.
And it's a
penalty on ECU,
here.
I think.
Seems to be, yeah, judging on the reactions.
Although, I don't know. Yeah, it's a penalty on ECU. I don't know what it was. I couldn't really tell.
And I mean,
You got the Godzilla theme playing here in the arena.
For the most evil man on the ice.
Yeah, I guess
Randall
so.
Connor headed to the box, and the fans remember who that is. And I mean, for the Pirates, you can't afford this. You haven't looked good all third period, at least offensively, and now you're giving the Gamecocks offense, who just found success, tied the game up, giving them a great opportunity.
This penalty kill, ECU has done a really good job on the penalty kill so far in this game. With such little time remaining, keeping this a tie game, I mean, this is probably, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to sound hyperbolic, but this could be one of the pivotal moments of ECU's season.
And Flaherty almost makes a mistake there, but Gamecocks still have the puck. As Bolger has it, him and Thomas up front along with List. Over to List, and that is deflected. They still remain with the puck, though, as Bolger has it on the right side out to List. Back over to Bolger. Over to Flaherty.
A great cross-ice pass.
Yeah, really nice from him. Flaherty still has it, but it's taken from him by Sylvester, and cleared by ECU. That was a really nice defensive possession there, because that was, as you mentioned, a great cross-ice pass to Flaherty, but unable to do anything with it.
I was really impressed by South Carolina. I thought they were really setting up to maybe go up 4-3, but an even better play by ECU's defense.
It's going to be Greeley now with it. Haven't heard too much from him tonight, but over to the left, couldn't see who that was, but it's going to be deflected wide. Lock-in has it, sends it over, that was Mulcairn, who now has it. Back out to Greeley. Fires a shot deflected to the side again by Shulmistra.
I don't think he saw where that was going, so that was almost a another bad moment for him.
Yeah, and Lock-in.
He's had very few, though. But
yeah. Pineda the Lock-in now. Lock-in looks cross-ice from Mulcairn, but I believe that was deflected unless I'm mistaken. 15 seconds left in the power plays. ECU's going to make a couple changes. Greeley going forward, blocked to the side again by Shulmistra. Mulcairn has it over to Greeley. Over to Lock-in, and he scores, and the freshman Tommy Lock-in sneaks it by Shulmistra, and the Gamecocks have the lead. Scored with 2 seconds left in the power play. 4:06 left to play in the final period. And as we said, JP, you can't give them a power play when they're clicking like this.
No, you cannot. All the momentum going South Carolina's way now. 4:06 to go. The crowd is in a frenzy. This is what ECU could not afford, and they did it. They gave South Carolina ample opportunities to tie it, and then they gave them the opportunity to finally go ahead for the first time since early in the second period.
And as I said, you can't take your foot off the gas against this team because they scored 2 goals in about 2.5, 3 minutes. And now it's, ECU's turn to answer, and they have not done that.
No,
well
they haven't really.
Outside of the first, deficit they suffered.
They haven't really had a more, I'm trying to think of the right word, but extended stay, I guess you can almost say a vacation. They just haven't really had a very good offensive attack in a very long time. So now they're discussing something. I wonder if, because the goal has not shown up on the scoreboard yet.
That's
so
true.
there's something going on. I think they might just be, I think the goal's good. Maybe we're just having a little bit of a.
I feel like we'd hear and see a little bit more outrage if
there was,
take
exactly.
That away. We'll see. They're talking about something over at the Gamecock bench. Sweet Caroline fills the air, and love to see that. Or hear that, rather. Can't see a song. Actually.
Yeah, they're going for the face-off. No announcement, so I assume it's nothing, but you're always just extra cautious when.
And the goal has been added. 4-3, 4:06 here left in the third. Still, referee's still over there talking about something, but the game will continue. Chico has it. He'll send it up to Chad Lazine. And
well, we have a stoppage in play. The buzzer went off on the scoreboard as soon as the face-off happened. So I feel like that's what they were talking about. I think something's going on with the scoreboard.
They should be ready now, it looks like.
Yeah, we look ready to play.
Yeah. Lawrence on the face-off here. And the Gamecocks will control it. Wilkins has it. He mishits it, but luckily still controls it now as Lawrence will send it up for Wilkins. The Pirates got to do something, but they've got the Sylvester on the puck, and he loses it. Lawrence.
Yeah, it's like the return of the first period here for ECU.
And a really nice save from Gormley, and that puck is deflected over the net.
The mass save for Gormley, and then on the rebound chance for ECU, someone got down there and just blocked it over the net.
Lawrence leaves it for Reed, tries to make something happen.
A massive collision there. That
was a shot from Wilkins, and he wants revenge. You saw him, I don't know if you saw, but he got hit kind of into his own bench there. And clearly not too happy about that one.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw there on the attack, the Gamecocks, they kind of were playing with the defender behind the blue line, which they haven't done really all night. So might be playing, make sure you have a man back just in case something bad happens.
Yeah, what you really don't want to do is let up a odd man rush and allow ECU a prime opportunity to tie this game, because right now you're 2:45 away from this miraculous comeback win after all the cards seem stacked against South Carolina going into the third period.
Yeah, it looked all Gamecocks early, then all Pirates, and now it's back to the Garnet and Black with all control now.
It's been a game of runs, and, you couldn't ask for a better game on a Friday night in Irmo.
It's going to be offsides.
Offsides indicated by the official.
Yeah, and I agree with you. We can't ask for a better game. We've had a bit of everything. Physicality on display. Some great goalkeeping from both goalies.
Absolutely. Well, one's been quality and the other's been quantity. Not to say that our beloved Jackson for the ECU Pirates hasn't been getting some quality saves. He just has 45 of them already.
Yeah. That'll do it. He added another one there on a distance shot from Zach List, and the Gamecocks will lose possession in the offensive zone, but fighting for it as they usually do, and they will get it back with Zach List. 2 minutes left to play, and you wonder if the Pirates are going to try and start pressing them a little bit harder.
I wonder at what point they pull the goalie. Although the goalie's been their best player tonight.
You know what? Just let him skate up. Might do him a favor here. Now as Henderson has the puck, he'll send it up to Kay. Sends it around goal. Albers in pursuit.
South Carolina has been so present in the ECU zone this period. I wonder if
Albers has it right in front of goal. Over to Kay. An incredible save from Shulmistra. Wow.
His 47th of the night, ladies and gentlemen. On 51 shots on goal faced, he saved 47 of them. Really impressive job, even if it's in a losing effort.
And that, that looked to be the nail in the coffin, too. Is incredible play there.
Keeping ECU in this game.
Yeah, as that was Kay and Albers. Kay with the steal. Kicked it to Albers, who just sent it right back to him in front of goal. But the play of Shulmistra, as you said, keeps the Pirates in the game. It's going to be Sylvester skating up, tries to get a shot on goal, but Gormley with a glove save.
His 13th in the game, and Sylvester has really impressed me. I feel like he's been the best puck handler for ECU, led a lot of their charges into the South Carolina zone.
Absolutely, and 1:18 here left in the final period of play. You got to think they're close to pulling Shulmistra here. You think if it gets under a minute, you got to
If they win the face-off, I wouldn't be surprised if they went ahead and sent him to the bench. He's
creeping up.
Yeah, playing about as far up as he can, but South Carolina wins the face-off.
Yeah, now it's ECU will get the puck back as Sylvester has it left side of goal now.
And
Henderson in pursuit.
They're pulling Shulmistra, so this is it. This is ECU's last gasp. They're playing for everything right here.
And that's going to be deflected to Robbins, I believe. He'll try and get it to the middle of the offensive zone, but McGowan fighting hard in there.
That's the 1 minute remaining in the third period.
Ooh, and that one was
South Carolina
just
forgot about number 23, Daniel Cooner, the senior forward out of Cary, North Carolina. He had a great opportunity there for a shot just almost right in front of the goal.
And that was really scary, but the Gamecocks will get it one more line change in, and Lockin's going to race away up the ice with an empty net, but he's hit by Robbins. They're just trying to get something towards the goal.
What a play.
Great recovery from the Pirates. That's really nice by the Gamecocks, though, to win the puck back with 8 seconds left. Up to Hansen.
I don't know if they're even going to get a last attack.
And time will expire as the Gamecocks, with a great third period, come back and secure the victory. Move to 15-2 on the season. And this was just a fantastic hockey game.
I mean, yeah, these were two. I mean, you wouldn't know that ECU was under 500 coming into this game. They played their hearts out. Got to give a bunch of props to Jackson Schulmistra, their goalie. Had 47 saves on the night. Undoubtedly a career night for him. They played great on the road, but South Carolina, they faced the music coming into this third period, and they came out with the win.
Definitely. You see almost the entire team go over to Schulmistra and just, I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, the guy just had an all-time performance there in goal. They're letting him lead the handshakes. I mean, an admirable performance from him.
It was like watching prime Henrik Lundqvist, the king. He plays his heart out, gets an unbelievable amount of saves, and in the end is on the losing side of things. But I mean, just what a game by South Carolina to take it. I mean, even though they went up against a goalie having such a great night, ECU fought back. They punched South Carolina in the mouth, and they drew blood, but South Carolina fought back. They got back into the game. They got back to what makes them one of the best teams in college hockey, and they came out with the win.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, like prime Lundqvist, I mean, it's hard. This looks like the Garden out here at the Flex. I mean, just a great rink, and as you mentioned, the Gamecocks,
the world's most famous arena.
It's what it looks like out here with this packed crowd. But with the way they were able to battle the adversity, the Gamecocks, the game-winning goal by Tommy Locken. I mean, just they really, really looked bad in that second period. It looked like it was going to all fall apart.
Now that they won, we can say that.
Yeah. They just looked flat, but came out in the third. As you mentioned, sometimes you just need a good talking to, some good coaching, and clearly that's what's on display as they came out looking like a refreshed team, some great offense, and they were able to get it done here in Irmo.
Yeah, even when their backs were up against the wall, they were able to lean upon this crowd that really was behind them every step of the way. Every opportunity they had to get loud, they did, and I think that really helped South Carolina kind of stay afloat.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. So, JP, I think it's pretty obvious. Our player of the game for the Pirates has to be Schulmistra.
Oh, Jackson Schulmistra, I mean, true freshman, Cary, North Carolina native. Maybe the Hurricanes could give him a nice little contract. He played out of his mind.
Maybe a goalie factory out there somewhere.
47 saves. I mean, just for the Gamecocks, however, who's your player of the game, Spencer?
You know, it's hard to decide. I feel like a non-goal scorer, Gormley had some really clutch saves, but also Bolger, I feel like, had a great game. He
really
was all over the place. But for me, I mean, I feel like you might have to give it to Locken. You know, he just scored the game winner. It's hard not to give it to him. When they needed it most, he scored the most important goal of the match, and that's the one that wins it.
Yeah, he had some really good smaller moments, and they built up, culminating in a game-winning goal. In terms of non-goal scorers for Carolina, I want to shout out Brandon Flaherty.
Yep,
he was
absolutely.
a master of the power play, had some really good moves with his stick, and has some great passes. South Carolina in the third period, perhaps their biggest jump from the second to the third was the quality of their passes. Some of them didn't end in great goals, but I feel like they contributed ultimately in the end.
Yep, I got to agree with you there, and just an overall great performance to come back and win for the Gamecocks. And I think that's going to do it here. For JP Barry, I'm Spencer Ball, and for all of us here at SGTV, have a great night.